CIA Director Ratcliffe said agency now evaluating if China intentionally started pandemic. Wow, wow, wow. See what's happening when we got people that actually don't curtail to China, people that are actually curious, people that actually ask questions and are serious about the security of the United States. They're asking all the right questions. This is something that I've said years ago, back way back on my old channel. You can check out some of those clips in the description. To my link tree, and you'll go to you can click on the Odyssey, and that'll take you to some of my old videos. But anyway, I've been saying this for years. I've been saying China intentionally did this. This is their way. This was the only way they could stop Donald Trump from winning the 2020 election. So that I believe they intentionally released this pandemic to hurt Donald Trump. And now we got our government actually doing a real investigation into that. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to play the clip of what Radcliffe had to say today about it. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button. Share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. And hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my X account, so follow me there as well. All right, so let's get into this news. Now, this comes from the Daily Wire. And they report that CIA Director John Ratcliffe said during the interview over the weekend that the world's leading intelligence agency was now investigating whether the COVID-19 pandemic was an accident or if it was intentional. Ratcliffe made the remarks during a Sunday interview on Sunday Morning Futures while discussing his decision to release the findings from a new assessment that was conducted uh, by the Biden administration that concluded that the pandemic originated from a lab in Wuhan. Y'all know I mean, this is amazing to see that they're actually taking this seriously, something that I've been saying forever. Radcliffe said that the reason that he released the intelligence was because it was important for Americans to regain trust in government institutions. Amen. Amen. Let's play this clip. Here we go.
And joining me now, newly confirmed CIA Director John Ratcliffe. Director Ratcliffe, congratulations to you. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Maria. You bet. Glad to be with you.
So how did it feel to go back into the Oval Office to talk with President Trump and discuss the intelligence before we get to the breaking news?
Well, it's been a long 4 years, and I was grateful to be back this week in the Oval Office with President Trump. He's excited, and you know, you talked about the attitude at Davos and the world's expectations and the optimism around America being back. But we also, the President and I talked about the fact that while it's an opportunity, we have great responsibility, and we've got difficult circumstances that we've inherited. We've got war in Eastern Europe. We've got all the mayhem that has taken place in the Middle East, held together now by, you know, fragile ceasefires in Gaza and Lebanon. We have China, Russia, North Korea, and Iran cooperating in a way that we've never seen before. So we have difficult circumstances, great responsibility, and you know, President Trump has challenged me and the rest of his incoming cabinet to do better, to put America back on our front foot after 4 years on our back foot.
Yes, and thank you for your work
All right,
on
let's
that,
get to China.
Director.
Let's get to China.
You, right out of the gate, come out with this new intelligence that the CIA has concluded the deadly COVID-19 pandemic arose likely from the leak out of a laboratory in Wuhan, as our audience expected. Tell me the significance of the CIA now confirming this, sir.
Well, it's one of the things President Trump and I talked about. Part of what we have to do is we have to restore Americans' trust in our own institutions, like the intelligence community and law enforcement, and that includes the CIA. And, you know, one of the things that the president stressed, you know, the purpose of the CIA is to protect Americans, to keep us safe from foreign threats and foreign adversaries. But we also need to be truthful with Americans. And he has stressed to me and others that, you know, these aren't mutually exclusive missions. We can do both. And so in the case of the CIA, which is the best foreign intelligence service in the world, after 5 years to not have a public assessment, to be honest with the American people about where the likely source of a pandemic that killed millions around the world, including a million Americans, and really impacted all 345 million Americans in some way. People lost jobs, they lost houses, they lost their health, they lost their businesses, all of that. And so I had the opportunity on my first day to make public an assessment that actually took place in the Biden administration. So it can't be accused of being political, and it does assess. The CIA has assessed that the most likely cause of this pandemic that has wrought so much devastation around the world was because of a lab-related incident in Wuhan. And so we'll continue
Obviously.
to investigate that moving forward. But I think it was important for the American people to see an institution like the CIA get off the sidelines and be truthful about what our intelligence shows, at the same time of protecting us from adversaries like China if they caused or contributed to this.
So what will there be? Will there be a response to Communist China on this? What will be the result of this? And also, why was it important for President Trump to revoke the security clearance of the former CIA director, John Brennan, and the 51 spies who misled us?
Right.
Well, all this goes hand in hand, Maria. So, we talk about, what President Trump wants is, he says, lead with integrity and get the politics out of the intelligence community. So you talk about, revoking security clearances. When we talk about the 51 former intelligence officials, remember that there's sworn testimony under oath from the author of that letter that the intent behind that was to influence the election in favor of then candidate Biden.
Yeah.
To improperly influence election was something that everyone knows wasn't true, that Hunter Biden's laptop was real, that it wasn't Russian disinformation.
They
So
knew
this
that.
was all about accountability and deterrence and consequences. When former officials use the imprimatur of icy authority to misrepresent to the American people, there should be consequences. And so this was not retributive in any way. It was about making sure that people think about this, myself included, going forward, that we don't mix politics and intelligence. And so consequences and establishing deterrence, the COVID origins assessment, making that public. President Trump needs to have the very best intelligence so that when he's negotiating with President Xi and other adversaries, he's able to confront them with the things that we know, that our intelligence tells us about what our adversaries have done to us. So now that it's out there, he'll be able to use that, to leverage that, to have honest discussions, to put our national security posture in a better position than it's been for the last 4 years.
Director, have you identified or concluded that lab leak was intentional or accidental?
Well, we're going to continue to look at, I've been on the job a couple of days now, and I'm going to look closely at the intelligence that we've gathered. Maria, I think we'll get to the point where every intelligence agency in the United States will agree with the CIA's assessment that the most likely outcome was from a lab in Wuhan. Yes. And we'll get more intelligence as time goes by, and we'll be transparent with the American people about what that intelligence says.
Wow.
We'll be following your work, and we hope to have you back to talk about it throughout your work, sir. Thank you so much.
You bet. Grateful
Newly
for all you
confirmed
do. Thanks,
Director of
Maria.
the CIA, John Ratcliffe.
A transparent government. Wow. That would be refreshing, right? Um, I still don't trust the CIA right now because they're too political. Everything they've done over the years, it's no way possible I would ever trust the CIA, even with John Ratcliffe in charge of it. I know how evil they are. I know how deceitful they are. I know how they use their methods not internationally but domestically as well, which is illegal. And so it's hard for me to even uh, trust the CIA. But I will say they are heading in the right direction so far under Radcliffe. Calling out something that all Americans already know. It came from a lab in Wuhan. Even leftist Jon Stewart made a joke about it and talked about it. Just like, oh, just what is it? It was just a coincidence that it happened. It happened to be one of the worst pandemics of our time. Just happened to be released in the area that work on bioweapons. Even he joked about it and talked about it. So to see that this is finally coming to light and then they're taking it serious is a great step. in the right direction, I believe. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.